Make sure your headphones are fully plugged in. Grade 8 Science Unit 2 Assessment The Gravitational Force. Time allotted 45 minutes for parts 1 and 2 combined. Part 1 Directions. Each of the questions or incomplete statements below is followed by 4 suggested answers or completions. Select the answer that is the best in each case, then fill in the corresponding circle on the answer sheet. 1. When comparing the gravitational force between two objects, which of the following characteristics of the object should be considered? A. Mass. B. Volume. C. State of matter. D. Shape. 2. The table provided shows data collected during an experiment. Which of the following claims is supported by the data? A. Gravitational forces are proportional to the masses of two objects. B. Gravitational forces are strongest between objects with identical masses. C. Gravitational forces are weakest when one object is more massive than the other. D. Gravitational forces can never exceed an upper limit regardless of the masses. 3. Which of the following is a characteristic of the gravitational force between two objects? The gravitational force between two objects A is negligible unless both objects are very massive. B can push or pull depending on the masses of the objects. C always pushes objects away from each other. D always pulls objects towards each other. 4. The gravitational force between two objects will be very small unless which of the following is true? A. The objects must be very far apart. B. One of the objects must have very large mass. C. Both objects must have very large masses. D. Both objects must be in a solid state of matter. 5. Which of the following data would support the claim that the gravitational force between two objects depends on mass? A. An object's weight can change depending where it is on Earth. B. The further a planet from the sun, the smaller the gravitational force. C. Gravitational force is stronger on more massive planets. D. A rocket can escape Earth's gravity by traveling a high speed. Part 2 Directions. Questions 6 through 8 are free response questions that require about 8 to 10 minutes to answer. Question 6 is worth 7 points. Question 7 is worth 12 points. Question 9 is worth 6 points. Read each question carefully and completely. Write your response in the space provided for each question. 6. Ashlyn draws a model to represent relationships between interacting objects. The diagram shows her models with the object's mass and force. A. Identify the force that is represented by this model. B. Explain how the arrows in Ashlyn's model show a relationship between the force identified in Part A and interacting objects. C. Two tables are shown above. Explain which data table accurately justifies the claim made by Ashlyn's model. 7. Each of these four models represents the force of gravity between two objects. The masses of the objects and distances between the objects vary. The arrows in each model indicate the direction of the force of gravity between the two objects. Use evidence from these models to support an argument that both distance and mass affect the gravitational force between two objects. Write your response in the form of a scientific explanation with claim evidence and reasoning. This is your rubric. 8. An attractive force is responsible for keeping satellites in orbit around Earth. The table below gives the masses of 7 satellites and distances between each of these satellites and the center of the Earth. A. Compare the attractive force on satellite 3 to satellite 4. Which experiences a greater attractive force and why? B. Compare the attractive force on satellite 3 to satellite 5. Which experiences a greater attractive force and why? Good luck.